Still on?
All right, please continue. Part 5. I know that, and I don't want to keep you guys from the rest of the party, but I know, and then I know she's getting ready to wrap that up. But so what are your thoughts? You were saying, continue.
So, yeah, I'm just ranting now a bit, but
Chickens!
there's chickens out there, and they're really exciting. Because that means something that they're here and they're rooting me to this place. But I know that when we bought this place, when we chose those things, like you were talking about your townhomes or
It's just one townhome.
a town,
I would love to have several.
creating caches in different
Yes.
countries or cities, like like I said, it's a spectrum. That could be a cache of people that you've created a connection with, and now we are friends, and now you can come back here,
Yes.
and that's a home for you. That's a place, and whether that's like stuff that I can control, like a bank account in a country or a home, real estate, those kind of things in a place, or it's relationships that I have less control over. That's some of the risk. There's less things that you put into that, less time that you have to invest into that, but also it's still a real thing. Like you coming back here is a real thing if you want, as your travels allow.
So what you're saying, Chris, is you're talking about social currency and the social capital. That is something that we can get back to the relational kind of value, where we have an emphasis on capitalism, right, in the U.S., and it is kind of interesting. I think there's that fine line between balancing both, because if you can have multiple streams of income, to have the money coming in. For example, there was a guy that I met on MySpace. He found me on MySpace, if you guys remember that, in 2005. Well, he had, I don't even know if anyone still has a MySpace account, but I loved it. I mean, the next day I had like 300 friends. I'm like, I've never had this many friends in one day in my life.
And Facebook is just like so like bland. Like there's no customization. I do miss MySpace too. Like it was like a great social network, but things change.
But this is what he had. He had the entrepreneurial idea ahead of time. So he loved to play guitar, and he had the idea to create these guitar tutorials. Within the end of the first year, he made $250,000 a year just from the tutorials.
Wow.
And I read the story of a kindergarten teacher who just wanted to design some lessons. Apparently, she threw it online on some website, $700,000 from 1 year of revenue generated from downloads from kindergarten teachers all over the world. All I'm saying is, like with your web design, with the other stuff that we're doing, I think that we don't want, and I'm not saying anybody's like this, but the desperation from one source of income. I've learned from having gotten laid off or budget cuts, in teaching or things like that. It's almost like somebody's breaking up with you or something, and that's fine. It's like, all right, I'm going to kick you in the butt or something like that. And it's nothing personal. It's just that you might be romanticizing your job that more than the job is romanticizing you. And I think as an adjunct instructor or full-time, and I've been grateful for all the opportunities I've had, I've just learned that you have to, what a lot of the motivational speakers, that I've assisted at a lot of these events as a volunteer and have attended myself, one thing they say is that you work for yourself. You've got to be an entrepreneur. You've got to be almost a digital nomad, you've heard people say. Or you have to be creative enough to where you generate the opportunities and you don't rely on one source. And I even have some friends that are so extreme with it, they'll just get themselves out of the picture. So you got to have it where the money, and this is just an idea, the money generates your lifestyle where you can do whatever the heck you want to do and you get rid of the stress. But if you can live without caring about the stress, you see what I mean, and still protect your assets, then I think that's a huge, that allows people to take off. But I know some people that don't do it.
Well, I think we were talking before about roadblocks, like asking you guys questions about what is it that maybe keeps people from pursuing this nomadic lifestyle. And I think you just touched on it, like, that they put in their mind that, like, oh, if I can, like, create this passive income stream, then I can do whatever. And the truth is they just never get to it. They're that guy, that old dude from Up who, like, just thinks, like, oh, yeah, in the future, I'm going to, like, go on this vacation. It's going to be awesome. And you just...
Never do it.
No.
And I see that one, especially because I do a lot of open mics. It's like, there's a lot of people that's like, now they're all of them retired and now they're finally getting a chance to play music. It's like, what, it's like, I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do what I really want to do my whole life. And, I'll figure out a way to make it work.
Good stories often form when you force yourself into a corner. Usually someone forces you into a corner.
When
and
you are
something
forced into a corner.
pushes and happens. I bought this house and I had no idea what I was doing. Renovation.
But it felt right.
Yeah, there were good bits to it. But I've learned a ton from that, and stuff that would have taken me 5 or 6 years to have learned on my own study if I had written out a to-do list of like, oh, I'm going to learn this thing today.
Hang on 1 second.